It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday, August 19th. OMG, G. We've got a show today. Holy moly. It is a triple delight. And by delight, I don't mean like I revel in, lawsuits and these kinds of stories, but wow, they're just coming at us. Okay. It is one of those days. We've got crazy, crazy updates in so many different cases. How are you all? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling happy? We've got 5 more days until Dosers Live, I believe. It's Tuesday, October 19th. Dosers Live is October. It's August 19th. Dosers Live is August 23rd. We've got a lot going on. Isabella is getting the smackdown from Wayfarer and Baldoni, as they like to call it. Wayfarer had nothing to do with it. It was just against Baldoni. So Baldoni's coming back. Jillian Michaels is going after the Biggest Loser documentary. And you like her or hate her, the girl's got receipts. And we have an update from the Kevin Costner story on the set of his film. Remember, if you guys know, I was covering the Kevin Costner story for years, and weeks, a few weeks back, with the woman who was accusing him as a director and that set for being unsafe. And just 5 seconds before I went live, I was looking at some content on Daily Mail. He's producing some footage from the set to refute her claims. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, I am so close to 50,000 subscribers. Thank you so much, Gwen. She says we need 50,000 before my show. I think I have less than 400 more people to get to 50,000, which is not hard, you guys. We can do this. Less than 400 subscribers to get to 50K. So make sure you like the video, subscribe as you come in. It's free for you to do, and it really helps the numbers for Daily Dose of Donna. If you immediately like and immediately subscribe right when you come on in, get me to 50K. You guys, everyone, get ready. It's your Daily Dose of Donna. Oh my goodness, you guys, there's so much happening. There's so much happening today, and it's out of control. Like, I don't even know. I want to talk about it all. We want to talk about all 3 of these cases. They're all Hollywood related. They're all lawsuit related. Brian Friedman is involved in 2 of them. I mean, what? Why do I have mascara on my eye? Can I just use you guys really quickly as a mirror? How am I going to get that off? That's going to annoy me. Okay, I feel better. Oh, keep cameras always rolling. Here's what I learned today. We got to keep cameras always rolling and never delete your emails or your text messages. Because the Jillian Michaels story, she's pulling up text messages and emails from 2009, 2010. Did you guys know that there were emails in 2009 and 2010? I was just a young woman. I had just come out of the womb. And then also, keep cameras rolling the entire time you're on set. Like, from the moment you enter the set, you should be mic'd and on camera, even in your dressing room. Truly. Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, effing everything. And yes, they will all be found, Isabella. But it's even better when you can even just produce it on your own, you know? I hear the craziest sound right now. Is that Blake Lively coming to get me? Truly, I thought Blake Lively was coming in with like a helicopter landing in my backyard to arrest me for talking about her. MC High Life, not Jillian reactivating her MySpace for DMs. She's like, I was on Friendster at that time. And on my Friendster, did Friendster even have DMs? Truly, truly. I just got so sweaty when I thought Blake Lively was coming. If Blake Lively dropped in my backyard, what do you think? I mean, it would make for great TV. It really would. She's watching. Hi, bestie. You know what Blake Lively's busy doing? Blake Lively's busy getting ready to do some sort of crazy hair and makeup presentation for Betches Media. I'm sorry. What? Yeah. Yesterday, I got a DM from one of you guys. You guys always send me the good stuff. I got a DM from one of you guys saying, "Oh my God, look at what Blake Lively's doing with JVN." If you guys know, let me pull it up on my Instagram and then I'll show it to you guys. I was pissed. I was like, this girl, she can't like leave us alone. She really can't. She's just always around, you know? She's like that annoying gnat. Can you guys see this? Let me make it bigger. Good at Shopping posted it. And it says, cancel your New York Fashion Week plans. We made better ones. Betches is teaming up with Glossy Pop NYC for a full day of live convos with Blake Lively, Jonathan Van Ness, and more. You couldn't pay me to go. I couldn't think of, I'm just being honest, I can't think of two more obnoxious human beings than JVN and Blake Lively. Truly, these two together in one room just put me out of my misery. Put me out of my misery right now. He is it, now I don't want to say the wrong thing. Is it they? Is it JVN, a they? And I really don't want to be offensive. So I don't know. But Blake Lively and JVN are so, think about the narcissism in that room. Think about the narcissism in that room, the hand motions, the me, the hair. Oh, look at my hair. No, your hair. Hairs. We have so much hair. Like, I could not. I just ruined my hair for this presentation, for this, for that, you know, you don't even have to go. That was exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be like, oh, look at us. Look at us. We're so funny. Me. No, let me touch you. No, let me, us. Yeah. That's literally all it would be for 2 hours. Oh, sounds like hell. But here's the craziest part. And this is truly what, oh my God, we should do a skit like this. JVN, I'll be Blake and Zach will be JVN. That's what we're going to do at Dosers Live. And this is the craziest part, is that it's Betches. And you know what? I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of an insight. I'm not a big fan of Betches. Betches, for those of you guys that don't know, Betches is a media company. They have content, they have podcasts, they have like, it's very, what's the generation under me? So I am 44. I think I'm millennial. I'm like the older millennial. I'm like the top of the millennial. Elder millennial is what they call it. Right under that is Gen X, Gen Z, whatever. The younger one. It's like very Gen Z. I think Betches is Gen Z. So I feel very aged out of the Betches vibe. Like, it's not for me. It's also very like cringe, a lot of it for me. It's not my vibe, okay? I don't need to get into all of it. But one of the people who runs Betches, she agrees with me on the Blake Lively stuff. We've had many conversations about it. So I find this very curious. So the head of one of the co-founders of Betches, it has been on my side about Blake Lively. How did this happen? How is Betches behind this? Who did they pay to get involved with this? That is my question. Money can do everything, can just get you in the door. That's what bothers me about this all. Money, money, money is money. Money, 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 money. Ain't it funny in a rich man's world? Okay, JVN and money. All right, let's keep going. Um let's continue and then I want to talk about okay, so let's first while we're here, let's talk about the Baldoni, Isabella Ferrer, then we'll get into Jillian, then we'll get into Kevin Costner, we'll get into Jillian Michaels. We'll talk about it all. Let's mention it all. Okay. Have you guys subscribed and have you liked the video? I would like a like count as we continue. This is going to be like a Casey, not Casey Kasem. What were Dick Clark, like one of those auctions the entire time. Not an auction, like a fundraiser. What were they called? See, now I'm really giving you my age. So, yes, 114, we got to up it. Up that shit. Now, up it. So, Jerry Lewis, there we go. Telethon. So, we were yesterday just flabbergasted over Isabella Ferrer and her I'm just going all in, okay, you guys? I'm not holding back. I didn't get this far to hold back in life. Isabella Ferrer went quickly from being someone that I was like kind of feeling a little bit sad for, a little bit concerned for, a little bit like, oh gosh, did you just get in with the wrong people at the wrong time? Like, I hope your career is going to be okay. I wonder about, to like, you know what? You're a willing participant. You're a 25-year-old woman who at that age, you should have enough ability to take control over your career, and you should know when and where to go with your life. You also are not far away from the industry. You didn't just land here like Dorothy in a flying fucking house, okay? You landed here well included into the industry. You know exactly how this industry works. You come from a long line of industry executives, or industry people. I did a long search about her history. She basically, Isabella Ferrer's parents are, I'll give you the exact, I mean, her actual parents are not super like names, but they were, oh God, hold on. Sorry, I had my search up, but it was on my other computer, so that's why it's not exactly. So she comes from a family of industry people. Her grandmother was Rosemary Clooney. Her aunt was an actress and then a producer. Her dad also was an actor. No one was a massive actor. No one other than, her grandmother, obviously related to George Clooney. There's connections. It's not like she comes as a, A-list kid. It's not like her father was Steven Spielberg or something, but she understands the industry enough. She's represented by Paradigm Agency, which if you know the industry enough to know, there's like probably top 6 big agents or agencies. Obviously, WME is the tippity top of them, but then you also have UTA, you have CAA, and you have Paradigm, I would say, are up there with it. You also have Gersh, you have on the next ring, you have, I mean, at least when I was working in casting, you had APA and Abrams and some of the bigger ones, but she's with a big agent. She has a big manager. This girl is not like some lost puppy. She understands what's going on. She also has an attorney who, even though he wrote like a wild, lost puppy not puppy, I don't want to keep using that word, but like he wrote in a very kind of aggressive way in his filing, he's at a firm that is a well-respected firm. They take on big cases. Like, they're okay. She's okay. So I don't feel bad for her, but she's going on a path which she thinks is going to be the better path and the only reason I do kind of feel bad is when you look at, and I hate to do this, but if you think about it, people can say, wow, I can't believe you would choose to go down the path of aligning yourself with Ryan and Blake. But I want you to think about it from the case of being in the industry. Who's actually coming out on top right now? It's Ryan and Blake. Yes, from a court of people's opinion, the public opinion, it's Justin Baldoni. But that's a very small echo chamber. I hate to break it to us, right? Because in our world, we see it as a certain way. But in the grand scheme of life, people don't care about this case. People still support Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. People that don't know shit about this case. So she's getting probably a lot of advice, and she's getting advised by her agents and her managers who are coming from a place of, if you want to make it in this industry, you cannot go against the WMEs of the world. You cannot go against the Ryan Reynolds and the Blake Lively's of the world. Stay the course. Stay the course. It's going to pay off. She's doing the smarter business move. If she all of a sudden goes rogue and decides to go and collaborate with Justin Baldoni all of a sudden and goes against Ryan and Blake, those two are like, I think their path of destruction knows no bounds. She could really be done. She actually has a chance to stay alive in the business. It's kind of sad, but this is like mafia level shit for industry wise, in my opinion. So that's how I look at it. It's pretty sad, but I look at it that way. Because if you can imagine, like, if I hate to bring up like mafia, but think about if you're in like a scary mafia situation or like a cult, and you want to get out of that cult and you want to kind of like separate it because you know that you're not in the right thing and you're lying to yourself or you're lying to your family or you're doing something unhealthy. But they tell you in not so many words, if you do leave, if you do tell on us, if you do go against this family or whatever, we will A, B, and C your life. You will ruin your life. You'll never work in this town again. Da, 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 da. That fear can keep you in a place that you may never want to stay in, because she may be petrified to go against the course. I mean, I hate to say it, but we are in a very, very precarious situation when it comes to this story. It sounds kind of crazy, you guys, but really think about it. She was, in my mind, Isabella Ferrer was groomed by Blake Lively. If you rewatch all the clips now, and if you actually watch the fact that she was love bombed by Blake and brought under her wing, and I was listening to Zach on Billy Bush yesterday. Great episode, by the way. I was listening to it, and there's no reason why she took her under the wing like that, having no scenes with her. There's no reason unless she was teeing her up for this moment. It's exactly what a man would do to a woman who is like an abusive man. It's like, I am going to bring you into my circle, love the shit out of you, and give you so much, give you everything you want before I give you like this abusive behavior, but I'm going to make you feel like you can't live without me kind of vibe. I'm not saying Blake abuses her in that way. I'm just saying it's that same kind of Stockholm syndrome experience. I hate to say it. I think that there's a little bit of that. And I think Isabella deleting Blake off of her Instagram and playing it cool and pretending that they weren't friends is all part of the plan. It's to show the public that she's not aligned with her so that Blake and Ryan do not appear to be influencing her, so that they do not appear to be showing her the way. What are you talking about? We have no connection with Isabella. This is all on her own. We're not telling her how to act. We're not telling her what to do. She's doing this on her own. She's 25. She can do whatever she wants. We're just living our lives. We're not her friend. I mean, we love her. We care for her. If she wants to be our friend, so we're here for her always. But as you can see, like, we're not close with her. We don't spend time with Isabella. And secretly, they're very much in her ear. That's my gut. Okay. But back to the legal filings, Wayfarer finally did respond yesterday, and I will pull up, or this morning, and I will pull up Leanne on X because she breaks it down, and she had a really nice way to. Sorry. That's me in Canada. Sorry. She had a really good way to kind of break it down. Kevin Fritz, who's our favorite attorney at the moment, wrote it, and basically, without reading every single moment, says that it was really just an attack on Baldoni and Friedman. It felt very much like a way to just kind of show her that, or show them like a PR stunt. Baldoni is harassing and extorting and all of those things, which of course it did get all the press. And then it talked about the fact that they had no problem giving the subpoena, or responding to the subpoena from the Lively side. Why did they have a problem responding to the subpoena from from Baldoni's side, from the Wayfarer side? They also said she's asking for sanctions. She's asking for money. Well, what they're doing here with writing this entire refusal to respond to the subpoena is they're basically racking up the bill even more. So it makes no sense. Why don't they just respond to the freaking subpoena? They're also saying that Baldoni is not harassing anyone. In fact, Lively was subpoenaing her first. So there's no harassment whatsoever. And the fact is, if Lively doesn't want to use her as like a coordinator or someone to align with her side of the story, then Baldoni won't use her at all either. So, like, fine. She can kind of drop her completely as someone that like coordinates her side, which is a really smart way. Like, if you don't want to use her, then we won't use her either. I still want Isabella to be used because Isabella is a huge part in the story, in my opinion, as someone that can corroborate Justin's story. As I made you a safe set. I made it a very safe set and a really comfortable set for you. But they're saying, like, if Lively doesn't want to use her, okay, that's all good. That's all good, no problem. And finally, they say that if she does have issues with the subpoena, she can just, file a motion to quash, and it's all good. So it was actually a really nicely written letter. It was very classy. It wasn't attacking. It wasn't, snarky. It was a really nice, smart letter. And that is that. And we will see where that goes. Still, there's some more legal updates. Justin Baldoni and team have finally responded to Lively's request for sanctions in terms of Brian Friedman. I'm not going to get into that. This is like a very, obviously, this is just one legal battle after another every single day. There is more and more and more with the sanctions, or the legalities. It's just nonstop. Also, finally, Leanne says, and I think this is a really important point, about anyone that does feel sorry for Isabella Ferrer, anyone that does feel like she is being used or whatever, just remember that she still follows Lively and Ryan Reynolds, and she is followed back by both of them. So the follow on Instagram is actually a very important thing. It sounds stupid, but the unfollow from Lively and Colleen Hoover and the whole rest of the cast to Justin Baldoni was what got us all talking at the very beginning. That follow and unfollow speaks huge things. So never forget that. It may sound stupid, like, who's paying attention about who follows who? Well, in the Housewives world and the Bravo world and everything that we all know, you should know that follow, you can mute people that annoy you. But if you don't follow someone, or if you follow someone, that is a huge sign of I support you or I don't support you. And that is that. Okay. We have got to move on, and I'll keep you guys posted if anything big comes up. Oh, one thing that I do want to say that I think is actually really funny. Oh, this is another really good point that Zach brought up. A couple more things just before I do move on from this story that never ends. Is Zach says, of course, Zach, who's going to be at Dozers Live this weekend, by the way. Zach says, can you imagine what the conversation would be if Justin Baldoni was constantly hanging out with the actor that played young Atlas, even though they're two men, right? Sleepovers and dinners with an actor 13 years younger than him. You can't convince me Blake Lively didn't love bomb and manipulate Isabella. Despite never filming together in their 13-year age gap, Blake suddenly invites Isabella over for sleepovers, would loan Isabella her clothes, and would take her out to dinners. They never filmed together. You can't tell me that's weird. I'm sorry. So freaking creepy. And anyone on that side that doesn't, like, anyone that is on her side that doesn't see that as being weird is honestly like that's like you're being blinded, because that is weird. And it wouldn't be so weird if they filmed every scene together. For example, if they were mother-daughter in the movie or sister-sister and they got really close, because I think that happens a lot. Like, for example, in Gilmore Girls, I remember Rory and Lorelai, Alexis Bledel and Lauren Graham, like they played mother-daughter. They were probably fairly close in age because she was a very young mom, and they got really, really close, but they were in every scene together for years. So that makes sense that you're going to spend all your time together on set together. So, and this was series of a show. Like, this was seasons and seasons and seasons. This was a movie that had, I think, over the course of a year, like 25 shooting days, and they were never together. Not once, not ever. They literally just spent promotion together. So, riddle me that. Weird. Weird. Even Senti Butterfly says, I'm 37, my sister's 24, and I wouldn't be hanging out with her if we weren't related. She definitely doesn't want to hang out with me either. Same here. I have a sister that was born when I was 11 and another sister that was born when I was 13. I love them. They ain't my girlfriends. They're like on a different planet age-wise. That's so weird. Sorry. Like, it's just not the same at all. Okay. Now we're going to move on. Okay. If you guys also, I just want to remind you guys that this week's episodes are brought to you by OLLIE. As you guys know, I got my little Wrigley, my little sweet Wrigley, and she loves herself some OLLIE because, and I actually spoke to someone yesterday who's animal photographer. So she works with a bunch of different animals for rescue organizations. And she's like, OLLIE is the best when it comes to all stages of dog food. So I am going to continue to feed my little puppy OLLIE because it's kind of the only food that she really wants to eat. Tried to give her other foods, but she's like, I only want OLLIE. And that's because OLLIE delivers clean, fresh nutrition in 5 drool-worthy flavors, even for the pickiest eaters. Made in U.S. kitchens with highest quality human-grade ingredients, OLLIE's food contains no fillers, no preservatives, just real food. So all you have to do is fill out OLLIE's 30-second quiz, and they're going to create a customized meal plan based on your pup's weight, activity level, and other health info. You're going to get your welcome kit. If you're a first timer, you're going to get your pup's first box with 2 weeks worth of meals, a free storage container, and a guide. And you're going to get those benefits right away. Shinier coat, solid, easy to pick up poops, and more excitement at mealtime. You can customize your plan, and it also comes with unlimited routine health screening, so you can get your pup on track to living their healthiest, happiest life. Dogs deserve the best, and that means fresh, healthy food. Head to ollie.com/dailydose and tell them all about your dog and use code dailydose to get 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a happiness guarantee on the first box. So if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's ollie.com/dailydose and enter code dailydose to get 60% off your first box. All right. Thanks, OLLIE. Okay. Where are you guys? There you are. I lost you on a tab. Okay. Let's talk. Here's OLLIE. Here's the code. Thank you. Okay, let's talk really fast about this Kevin Costner story. I find it crazy a little bit. Well, I mean, it should be crazy. So, if you guys have a little memory of what happened with this story, a few probably a month ago or so, Devin Labella is a stunt woman who happens to also be, I know all of you guys are going to say this in the comments here. So I'm going to tell you I know this. Devin Labella, who also happens to be podcaster, comedian, Heather McDonald's niece. So Devin Labella is a stunt woman / exercise instructor. A lot of my local LA friends have taken her classes. And she is a working stunt woman who gets hired on different films. So there was this movie called The Horizon. And in 2024, she was hired to be a stunt double for an actress named Ella Hunt as the character Juliet. And she filed a lawsuit in May of this year. Well, she said she was forced to perform a violent, unscripted, unscheduled rape scene while filming this movie. It was actually Horizon, An American Saga, Chapter 2 in May 2023. The stunt, she claimed she was told to lie down while an actor was brought in to simulate rape on top of her without warning or rehearsal. She also claimed her undergarments were exposed. And she had said in her original, I'm trying to see what her original story before I get into his story. Okay. In June 25th, she said, "What happened to me on that set was a reckless violation, a breach of consent and of basic workplace safety." This is what she said to Daily Mail on June 25th. "I was told to lie down, and without warning or rehearsal, another actor was brought in to simulate a rape on top of me. My undergarments were exposed. I was left alone afterward, overwhelmed and in shock. Compliance under pressure is not consent. Consent cannot be given after the harm has already begun. Once the line is crossed, there's no real choice left to make. I spoke up immediately, and for that, I was met with silence, deflection, and efforts to discredit me. This case is not just about what happened to me. It's about a broken system that protects those in power and punishes those who speak out. It's about demanding change, not just for me, but for everyone who deserves to work in safety and dignity. What happened on that set is wrong. Let it be known. I stood up, I told the truth, and I will never apologize for demanding the bare minimum: to be treated like a human being at work. And her attorney said that she immediately objected to the incident. She immediately spoke to the intimacy coordinator, and she spoke to them and apparently the intimacy coordinator had these text messages that supported her account and all of that. Now, when I first reported on this, I said that I strongly believe her because of this. There were all these details. She said that she had all these text messages to back her up. She is not in the position of power. In the Blake Lively story, it's not similar to this. In the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni story, he is in the position of power. She is in the position of power and he was not, because Blake Lively was this big actress and came in and kind of told everyone what to do, how to be, what to wear, etc. In this movie, Kevin Costner is the director and the big position of power, and it doesn't feel the same way. Hey, Leanne, I just was showing everyone your tweets. I was just covering you. Thank you, Leanne, for being here. And C Journalist is here too. Hey, girl. Okay. Yes. And so, and what's important here, Citizen Journalist, is that what you're saying is that they also have not rehired her. After she spoke up, they didn't bring her back. They haven't rehired her. So, in my first take on this, I was like, now I feel like I have to question everything because the Blake Lively makes us question everything now. I did come in and I said, I have to question it, but from what I'm seeing without actually reading the law, the legal documents, and after without seeing everything, I'm tending to believe her. She's saying that she immediately spoke out about this. She's a stunt woman. She's a stand-in. She's going against Kevin Costner. I mean, it does feel fairly real. Okay, now let's go into this new article that was just released today, and I'm pulling it on Daily Mail. Let me pull it up for you guys to see it. And it says, exclusive Kevin Costner drops explosive images that threaten to blow unscripted rape claim sky high. Hey, this is where it gets a little confusing and interesting. Kevin Costner has hit back at stuntwoman Devin Labella's lawsuit in new court filings that appear to show she was smiling and comfortable on set. Oy vey, while shooting a rape scene. And he says, quote, rape scene for his Horizon Western film series. In a sworn declaration obtained by Daily Mail, he included behind-the-scenes photos that show the cast and crew rehearsing a sequence involving Labella, who was serving as a stunt double for actress Ella Hunt's character, Juliet. According to Costner, the scene was intended to depict the lead-up to Juliet's sexual assault inside a wagon that is ultimately never witnessed by the audience. The shot was carefully blocked and contained no simulated rape, simulated sex, or in any physicality, the filing states. But in her lawsuit, filed in May this year, Labella said she was forced to perform a violent, unscripted, unscheduled rape scene while filming Horizon: An American Saga. The stunt performer claimed she was told to lie down while an actor was brought in to simulate rape on top of her. Okay, these are the photos. Photos taken on set show her looking comfortable and fully clothed as she rehearses a scene. Okay, wait, hold on. This is what he's saying is showing that she's not uncomfortable is because she's got like a little bit of a smile on her face. I'm just going to be honest. There's a lot of times I feel uncomfortable. Oh, this is so tough, you guys. This is where it gets real tricky. Real tricky. Some of us do laugh when we're nervous, right? Okay, Costner can be on set watching the rehearsal alongside actress Ella Hunt, who had Labella stand in for her character in the scene. No. Wait, am I crazy to remember that when I originally read this article or read her account? Hold on. Some of you guys, please tell me if you remember this. I remember originally reading the account that said that the actress Ella Hunt came in that day and saw that there was an unscripted sex scene that day and said, I don't want to do this. And she left the set. And then they put in Devin Labella. And Devin was like, whoa, I didn't know that this was in here. And Ella was not on set because she said, I was not aware that there was a sex scene in this day and I don't want to do it. So this is actually lying. You guys remember this? Okay. Yes, that was the original story. The actress didn't want to do it. She said, no, you're not crazy. She walked off. What the fuck is this, Kevin? Okay, so this is an absolute lie. So he's putting in this damn picture of Kevin. Rape is so funny. And Ella's like, they're probably laughing at a completely different scene. What is this crap? Okay, let's keep going. But the series of images obtained by Daily Mail appear to dispute that account, showing Labella in a full costume. It's probably not the scene. with bike shorts under an ankle-length dress as she lay next to actor Roger Ivans in a covered wagon. Costner claims LaBella agreed to block or choreograph the moment, was never pressured, and did not look like uncomfortable or in distress. I want video footage. I don't want pictures. I want video. He says the goal was to get a portion of the shot as a pickup shot or showing just a hand pulling on the character's dress. The simple act of moving the hem of the dress from the ankle to the knee created a moment of absolute clarity for the audience to absorb what would happen off screen, Costner states. There would be no simulated rape, simulated sex, gyrating, violent restraint, nudity, or any physicality. He goes on to say that both his recollection and the photos show LaBella's privacy was fully maintained, and he had no reason to believe that she was upset in any way. Okay, we need to see a video, not a photo. You can take a complete video of someone freaking out, and you can find one photo in that whole entire freak out of the person looking calm. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Oh, look, there's one moment where the man is sitting there and she looks so calm. She's almost meditating. Ew. Now, this is really pissing me off. He's trying to like completely discredit her. What is this? In the image above, Ivans is seen starting to push up LaBella's dress towards her knee. Honestly, I feel uncomfortable when I see this picture. I'll show you guys all the pictures at the end. I'm just going to go through the article first. This was not intended to be, nor was it sensationalist or exploitative. This was not a violent rape scene. It was an extremely quick, tightly focused shot. Well, it may not have meant to be a violent rape scene, but it clearly made her feel uncomfortable. This was not a violent rape scene. It was an extremely quick, tightly focused shot showing Roger moving the hem of her dress and was designed to imply what was about to happen, nothing more. In fact, he says, I never heard that Devin claimed to be upset about anything that happened that day until months after principal photography of the picture was over, when I learned that she had retained an attorney. In an amended complaint filed on June 18th, then she included screenshots of text messages with the film's intimacy coordinator, along with detailed descriptions of the painful emotions she allegedly experienced after the scene was completed. That month, Marty Singer slammed her allegations. Guys, this is ridiculous. They're trying to completely dismiss her entire thing. He's demanding the dismissal of the lawsuit. And of course, the attorney's Marty Singer. But yeah, today he is asserting that she was happy on set, sent a gushingly grateful text to a supervisor after the shoot wrapped, and they're also offering their own version of what happened at the scene at issue. He showed those pictures, and he's saying, while Devin's outer dress may have bunched up around her knees, the dress was still below her waist, and the pantaloons and petticoats underneath remained undisturbed. The shot was blocked ahead of time with the participation of LaBella, who understood what was to happen and consented to help. She also texted a supervisor, "Thank you for those wonderful weeks. I so appreciate." Oh God, this is tough. I want to see all the texts. Have we had the ability, if CJ is still here, is Citizen Journalist still here? I'm curious. Have we seen all the text messages? She texted a supervisor, he claims, "Thank you for the wonderful weeks. I so appreciate you. I learned so much, and thank you again." Okay, Citizen Journalist did a show. Let's go and watch that after. Have we seen all the text messages? Okay, it has all the texts. We'll go and watch that later. "Thank you for all of those wonderful weeks. I so appreciate you. I learned so much, and thank you again. I'm really happy it worked out the way it did too. Have a great rest of the shoot, and yes, talk soon." All right, CJ, just let me know in the comments right here. Okay, the texts make him look bad. All right, there you go. There you go. I do not think in any way. I think he's doing everything he possibly. Exactly. Your mom says, "Donna, this is what you pay Marty Singer to do." Marty Singer is a bulldog attorney. Marty Singer is paid. This is exactly it. Marty Singer is paid to get huge actors like this off of these egregious major, not egregious, like massive lawsuits. Marty Singer is going to do everything and anything in his possible ability um to get Kevin Costner off. One thing Kevin Costner does have is just all the money in the entire world. As Micah says, so I think I'll side with the actor and the intimacy coordinator until proven otherwise. Texting a supervisor is normal employment behavior. See, that's the thing also is she could have still had a great experience working on the movie and also a really, really horrible experience in this scene. And that's a very, very tricky situation. When you are in a very, very difficult case in a when you're in a very difficult case, okay, think about work in your work life, right? You go and work a job, like a freelance job, and you're an independent contractor, and you have one bad employee or one bad experience with one bad person. And you may complain about that one person, but the supervisor is who hires you maybe on a bunch of different things for other shows. You don't want to ruin that relationship because this is your livelihood. So it does make sense that she could send that supervisor, like, I had a great experience because she still needs to make SAG hours and she still needs to pay her bills and she still needs to continue to work because this industry is drying up like Blake Lively's, below parts when she looks at Ryan Reynolds naked. And so what happens is like you have to really, really work hard to get every job. And I feel really badly for someone like Devin Labella, who probably had a very, very uncomfortable experience, but also had to maybe lower her own standards because you gotta keep working. Gotta keep working. It's tricky. And don't think I didn't think before I said that because you all know that Blake Lively probably should start working with KY Jelly because you know it's a struggle for her when she has to look at Ryan Reynolds. Have you seen him lately? Jeez. Man, puts everyone into perimenopause. Whew. He ain't cute. Okay. That's a really tough story. I am going to be on Team Devin. See, I don't hate all women. I am on Team Devin at this moment until we see more. And yes, let's all go to Citizen Journalist channel after mine and watch her show. She says Kevin Costner had to be brought up to the current times that it won't happen again and apologize. Let's see what happens. He's trying to fight it. And that is going to maybe slap him in the behind. We'll have to see what happens. It's going to be tough. It's not like he did it, but it was on his set. So I think he should take some accountability instead of trying to fight it. The final story of today is also a really tricky one. And this is Jillian Michaels. Now, I need to know where we stand. Forget Biggest Loser, because this is going to be a big part, I think, of today's conversation. I need to know where we stand on Jillian Michaels as a human being today. Forget Biggest Loser, but Jillian Michaels. Jillian Michaels is a very polarizing figure, especially these days, because she's been in the news a lot, because she's an outspoken, highly charged political figure. And it's confusing for a lot of people. A lot of people are like, what? Like, why aren't you just talking about weight loss? Why aren't you just talking about training? But all of a sudden, now she's like a huge, all of a sudden she's on CNN and she's on All these I see her on, talking about politics all the time and like California and how she moved out of California because of the crime. And, one thing I do agree with her is how crime has gotten bad in California. But like, she's big on that. Okay. She's big on that. I'm not going to get into the politics of it, but I do know that she's a super, super polarizing person. She's definitely been big in the press in the last week for a couple of really inflammatory comments that she made on CNN. Not going to talk about it. We don't go there right now. We don't, not there. No, 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 no. But let's talk about Biggest Loser. So who here has watched the TMZ? Who here has watched the Netflix documentary about The Biggest Loser? Because I am very interested in this story. I have, and please, please, please don't I don't see it yet, but let's not argue about politics or anything. I have not seen it. Let's just not get there. So mods, get ready. Get ready to fight. Okay. So I love how we're talking about Jillian Michaels and then there's just a random comment. Cannot stand Blake. I love that. I love that. No matter what we talk about, there's always just a comment like, ugh, Blake. Drink every time someone says that during my show. Okay. So The Biggest Loser. A huge fan of the show. I watched that show religiously when I was watching, and I didn't finish the documentary because I keep falling asleep. I can't stay up late because of this puppy. I wake up all night, So I keep falling asleep. But the problem is, the issue is I love this documentary. I want to watch it. I just can't get through it. I keep trying at night. I loved Biggest Loser. I was obsessed with the show. Every single time they show a clip of the show, I'm like, I remember that. I remember that. I loved the show. And when I first met Lance, funny story, I first met Lance. We were sitting at a bar. He was wearing his white sunglasses, his white rimmed sunglasses. Never forget it. The sunglasses that are still in my nightmares. And he told me that that he worked on Biggest Loser. And he said that Bob Harper helped him lose 50 pounds. Yeah. Lance lost 50 pounds with the help of Bob Harper. So I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that Biggest Loser gave Lance some good eating and workout tips. But one thing I will say about Biggest Loser is it was a very inspirational show to watch. It gave me all the feels. I always thought it was a great story. I never saw it for being traumatizing. I never saw it for being exploitative. I never saw it in that way because in my mind, I thought, well, in the vein of reality TV, it seems like it is a feel good show. See, when you were watching shows like that back in those years in the early 2000s or whenever it was on, we didn't see it as oh, this is bad TV. That was for Bad Girls Club or those fighting shows. This was feel good TV. It was Extreme Makeover Home Edition. And they loved it to air it because people were obsessed with it. It made you feel good. And it was all it was addictive. It was addictive because America in general is a very unhealthy country, right? That's the truth. We have a lot of, people who are overweight and it was relatable. And so many people were getting inspiration from watching it. And I would watch Biggest Loser eating ice cream, which was crazy. Anyone else? Did anyone else used to watch Biggest Loser while eating snacks? That was weird. I would always turn on Biggest Loser and then grab snacks. That was always so weird now that I think about it. Strange. But anyway, I loved seeing how much weight they would lose each week. And I always wanted to see at the end of the season, I would always be the transformation is insane. But it's just like winning the lottery. And it's just like losing all the weight. Or even on Extreme Makeover Home Edition, when you make all that money or when you get that new house, you're always left with something. Nothing comes for free. So if you win the lottery, 90% of the time, you're going to end up depressed and unhappy or in debt or addicted to something or even worse off, if you are uh, on Extreme Makeover Home Edition, a lot of times you end up with these horrible property taxes or payments and you can't pay them. So you end up with no money and then you can't pay for your house. And if you lose all your weight on Biggest Loser, you're left with no support. You're left with all of the feels of a former person that would eat all the food, but you have no attention anymore, no one watching over you. And you most likely will gain all your weight back. It's actually really, really sad. So that is what a lot of the show is about the very unhealthy ways that a lot of them were losing weight. I mean, it's intense crash dieting, crash working out. Like they really put you through the ringer, like run 100 miles, go, go, go. And the abuse that the trainers would put you through, Bob Harper and Jillian Michaels. Go, do you care about it? Go, like whatever. I mean, I would probably be a good trainer. I should do it. And whatever it worked. And a lot of you guys are workout instructors, or work out like me all the time, right? I know Robin here is a workout instructor. I love to work out. I think it's an amazing thing to exercise, but that is intense. But it was Ozempic before Ozempic. Like there was no Ozempic. It was like you do it the real way. And they were losing 12, 15 pounds a week. It's crazy. So in this show, there is a claim, and let me, pull up the TMZ article. So in the show, there is a claim that that the documentary paints a false picture, that one of the doctors, I'm going to say it wrong, Robert Huizenga, claims that he never worked with her. And he basically says that it's about it. He basically says a lot of things in the documentary that he is not. He says a lot of things about Jillian Michaels that she is not happy with. Now, she didn't do the documentary by choice. She chose not to do it. I don't know if that is because she doesn't have a good relationship with the people behind the documentary. She says in her Instagram, and I'll show you everything. She says in her Instagram that the person behind the documentary is the same person who was behind the NBC at the time, and he's now behind Unscripted at Netflix. He is what she considers someone that doesn't have her back. A lot of this could be political too. I hate to say it, but the people that are over in Hollywood land sometimes tend to have much more of a liberal mindset. And Jillian is a very outspoken conservative. So that could also be a lot of it. I don't know. First, I'm going to show you guys the original TMZ article that came out this morning. And it says, Jillian Michaels says, I'm going to sue Netflix, Bob Harper, that was her her co-trainer, who they don't have a good relationship at all anymore, and Dr. Huizenga, probably saying it wrong, over the Biggest Loser doc caffeine claims. It says on TMZ, Jillian Michaels is coming out swinging, telling TMZ that the entire Biggest Loser documentary is a giant lie. She is already lawyering up with none other than, who do you guys think? Brian Friedman, to plot her next move, which could include going after Netflix, the producer of the documentary, Bob Harper, and Dr. Robert Huizenga. She isn't stopping there either. She points out Brandon Reig, who's the exec who bought the doc for Netflix. He was one of the top dogs at NBC during the last several seasons of The Biggest Loser, which means he knew exactly what went down behind the scenes. She says for the claims that she was sneaking contestants' caffeine pills. So those were the claims in the documentary. She says that's bogus, and she has the receipts. She says she's sitting on numerous emails, several of which she showed in an Instagram post Tuesday, which I'll show you guys in a second, proving caffeine was always approved on the show, just like Ambien and smokeless tobacco, which she personally refused to use. Bottom line, Jillian's ready for a fight, and she's not mincing words, saying the documentary's lies won't stand unchallenged. Now, do you hate Jillian Michaels? Maybe, but receipts are receipts are receipts. And if Jillian Michaels is telling the truth, She has receipts to prove it. So let's go over to Jillian Michaels' Instagram here. And she is saying on her Instagram, here are some receipts to show you. She says, here is an email chain with Bob Harper, The Biggest Loser producers, and Dr. Huazenga's guy who stayed on set with us and distributed the fat burners, about which fat burners, caffeine pills to purchase, So she's showing here all of the emails. And these are emails, you guys, from 2009, 2010. Like I said, don't lose your emails. Okay. And they're basically all saying, they're confirming that she was having conversations with them all about these pills and that they were okay with it. And she was okay with using it. She says caffeine was never banned on The Biggest Loser. And Bob Harper not only knew about the caffeine pills, the stacker fat burner were actually his suggestion. I wanted to use my brand instead because they were cleaner and had no more than 200 milligrams of caffeine, which is equivalent to a strong cup of coffee. She also then posts here and says to Bob, I really think it's shitty of you to not even respond to my texts. It's this kind of thing that always makes me so disappointed in our relationship. And this is in 2014. She wrote this to Bob Harper, and I don't know if he just never responded, but she's posting this to show that she and Bob haven't spoke for over 10 years probably. So maybe that's why he's speaking out against her. It's like a personal issue more than maybe a factual issue. Amy says she left the Democratic Party and has spoken out about it. I don't believe she is a conservative. She hated Trump in 2016, just FYI. Okay, so that's important just because I said earlier that she is conservative, that maybe she's not. I don't know. She's also posting here. She says, in response to the claim in the documentary that I told a contestant at the show's finale, you're going to make me a millionaire, because they did have a claim that she hugged one of the winners the first season and said, you're going to make me a millionaire. That was what the contestant said. She said, if I said that, we were all mic'd. They would have used the audio. I never said that. And she goes, here are two of the show's executive producers, Mark Coops and Dave Broom, who all wrote me text messages just this week confirming that I never said that. So here you go. The executive producers during the time are writing saying the documentary lied. She never said that. They're trying to paint her a really bad picture. Like or hate Jillian Michaels, she's coming with receipts, right? And then, of course, look at the comments. Riddle me this. How are you married to a woman and support Trump? Sell out, right? So as you can see, it's coming down to politics, right? And then here comments like, so interesting. All of this negative information coming out from the show, but it doesn't surprise me that they're trying to smear your name since you back the Maha agenda. Sad because you support a different party and agenda that these people are trying to destroy you. I don't know if that's the reason, but you have to question, why are they coming after her and putting her in this bad light? I mean, Bob Harper is just as bad as her. If she's this bad, then he's just as bad, right? Okay. Here's another example where she says, with respect to the allegation that I have restricted contestants from eating enough calories, I have an example of a direct written correspondence with a contestant while she was home for the holidays during filming, in which I explicitly instructed her to consume 1,600 calories per day. So this is an email she wrote to one of the contestants, Olivia Ward, which was December 30th, 2010, where she said, eat 1,600 calories tomorrow, 2 hours light cardio only. Well, that doesn't seem that wild. 1,600 calories is not that light for losing weight. And this is another email. So she's clearly coming back. And this, she says, not only did I never once get the opportunity to personally work with Rachel Fredrickson in any capacity, I raised serious concerns both publicly and to NBC directly about contestant health and the condition of Rachel in particularly at Biggest Loser season's 15 finale. In response, I received a direct email from Paul Telegdy, then chairman of NBC Entertainment. In that email, he made it clear that if I did not publicly condone the appearance of contestant Rachel Fredrickson at the show's finale, NBC would pursue legal action against me. I resigned from The Biggest Loser shortly thereafter. So this is about this Rachel Fredrickson. And this is a long email back and forth. So the Rachel Fredrickson of it all here, hold on. The Rachel Fredrickson is a part of the documentary. And it was because there was a major, major weight loss. And this is what led to Jillian Michaels quitting the show, because she lost more weight than any Biggest Loser winner in the history of the series. And she lost 59% of her body weight. She went from 260 pounds to 105 pounds, you guys. She went from 200. That is crazy. She went from 260 pounds to 105 pounds. And critics said she took the show too far and lost too much weight. And Jillian Michaels ended up leaving the show right after that. And basically what happened was, it's because she ended up saying on a podcast a little bit later that she didn't feel comfortable for the way that Rachel looked. That is, if you look at the pictures, I'll show you guys Rachel Fredrickson before and after. I remember this. I don't think I watched this season. Here. It's a crazy look. Yeah, do you guys remember that? And I'm sorry if you, hold on, let me close that ad. If you look at that picture, it doesn't look healthy. So the point is, she was on TMZ this morning. She actually called into the show. And I haven't listened to it yet, so I don't want to play it for you guys without being able to listen to it in full. I want to be able to, hear it. But here, we can listen to maybe just a little bit of it. Let's see if it has like a little bit of her call, and we'll see if it's interesting.
What's your grievance with the Netflix documentary?
Of course. Well, honestly, it's just filled with so many lies. And of course, I have the emails and the text messages to back all of this up. And, right now, my team and I are trying to figure out the best way of going forward in dealing with this. Do we pursue this legally? Do I just do a data dump and give you all of the emails and all the receipts? But for the show's doctor to suggest that I never worked with him, for example, that's one of his lies. There are, Harvey, I don't know, hundreds of emails going back and forth between me and the show's doctor. However, I did have very serious issues with the way the show's doctor handled the contestants. And I requested, and I have all of this in email, that the contestants see specialists and other doctors. Sometimes they allowed that to happen. Sometimes they didn't. There was an endocrinologist in particular that I had asked them to refer my contestants to, named Dr. Katja Van Hurley. Of course, Dr. Huizenga was very angry about this, and she would offer amounts of coffee.
So let me ask you this, though. Why then were you penalized on the show for giving caffeine?
Because I personally gave it to them, and in my contract, it says you're not allowed. And so this is a longer story. So this starts as follows, and I strongly recommend that you guys maybe talk to Maria Menounos about this. Okay. Many years ago,
Why Maria?
This exact period, I'm at home with my kids, and I get a phone call from Maria Menounos. And she's like, Jillian, I need to talk to you immediately. Call me back. So I call her back. I'm like, dude, what's going on? She's like, we just got a call from inside the network that you had given, follow me all the way through here, the contestants an illegal substance, and somebody went to the hospital. She's like, I need to know, because they're going to run the story. Did you do this? And I was like, Maria, I never did anything like this. This never happened. She's like, okay, let me just get confirmation from them that nobody went to the hospital. I'm talking to Lisa G, and Lisa G was the show's executive producer. She's like, we're going to hold this story for now. Sit tight, I'll get back to you. She goes to Brandon Reig and Paul Telegdi at NBC. She tries to get a comment through NBC, and they won't answer her. And she just gets an answer back from the show's publicist saying no comment. So they won't tell her if it happened or it didn't happen. Now, Brandon Reig, by the way, who is the show's executive, is the same guy who made this documentary at Netflix. Same guy. So now, I, of course, contact Marty Singer. My team calls a lawyer. This whole thing begins. And Maria's like, Jill,
Marty
I'm going to
Singer.
try one more thing. She goes, I have Paul Telegdi's cell phone. So this is the president, the chairman of NBC. She's like, I'm going to try to go around NBC channels and get him on the phone. She calls Paul Telegdi. This is all going down at like 10 o'clock at night on a Tuesday or something. She'll remember probably better than me. She calls Paul Telegdi, gets him on the phone, and she goes, Paul, we're about to run this story about Jillian Michaels. I need an answer. And your PR team at NBC is saying no comment. Did anybody from Biggest Loser go to the hospital tonight? No. Did Jillian Michaels give the contestants anything illegal tonight? No. So now, like, that story has to go away. And they're stuck with, what do we do? Because they want to bring back Ruben Studdard, because this is when Ruben Studdard had been eliminated. So they're like, well, and we go back and forth with Marty Singer. All of this is like, this is all documented in emails, which is why I have the one I just sent Devin, by the way, to prove that this had been allowed historically throughout the show's history. And
you know, it's a long interview. It's about 15 minutes over on TMZ. I'm not going to make you guys listen to the entire thing over here because obviously, you know, this is Daily Dose of Donna and not Daily Dose of TMZ. But it's worth listening to. But it will F with your brain if you don't like Jillian Michaels, because this is an example of like how we have to kind of like sometimes root for the person who you don't like if they are on the side of truth. That's the problem. You know, it's sometimes we have to, it's team truth here, right? We should always be team truth. And there's a lot of people who are Kevin Costner fans, and there's a lot of people who were Blake Lively fans, and there's a lot of people who don't like Jillian Michaels. But the truth is, we need to listen to what is right and like what is the truth. And if she got screwed over here by this documentary because they don't like her as a person and they decided to pin it all on her, that's effed. That's not cool. Yeah, Marty Singer, exactly. Team truth. So the truth is, you guys rock. How many likes do we have here on this YouTube show? Let's hope we got 500, 400, 400, 500 maybe. Let's hope. Let's hope that we got a decent amount of likes and subscribes. Remember, we're trying to get to 50K by the end of the week. By Saturday, 50K. Tweet this, tweet it, share it, let your friends know. Get your friends to join the Daily Dose of Donna party. And yeah, let's do a subathon. I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, if you're on Patreon, we're doing a live on Patreon in 38 minutes. In 38 minutes, okay? At 1:30 p.m. So go on over to Patreon and I'll post the link there. Good luck to me to figure that out, how to do it, but we'll figure it out. I just need to eat some lunch and then we'll keep going. And that will be live. If you can't be there live, it will be saved. So I'll see you guys over there. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you. Bye.